Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dr. Vet channel. Come to the livestock world. Recently, crispy carp has become a favorite dish, loved by many people at restaurants. The fish no longer tastes fishy, but is crispy and attractive. Realizing that the value of crispy carp is greatly different from that of normal carp, many carp raising households have switched to crispy carp with high commercial value. Let's find out with Dr.Vet about the secret of raising crispy carp. About 3 to 5 months before harvest, normal carp are fed a special food called broad bean seeds, also known as red beans, fava beans, and the fish will become crispy carp. The fish's skin becomes firm, and when eaten, it's crispy and has a special flavor. First step: prepare ponds and cages. Ponds and cages should be located and designed in places with clean water sources without industrial, agricultural, or domestic wastewater flowing in. For ponds, farming ponds have an area of 2,000 to 5,000 square meters. The pond bottom is renovated, leveled, and tilted toward the drainage. The depth of the pond is greater than 2 meters. The water depth is from 1.5 to 2 meters. Raising crispy carp in ponds requires auxiliary equipment to create flow, which can be using a pump or water fan arrangement. This is an important requirement to stimulate the fish to regularly swim and be active, so that the fish meat becomes crispier fast. Before putting fish into farming, the water needs to be drained and mud dredged, and use lime to improve the pond bottom and kill impurities. Dosage from 7 to 10 kilograms per 100 square meters, sun exposure for 3 to 5 days. After the pond is renovated, supply enough water in the pond, from 1.5 to 1.8 meter. The water supplied to the pond must be clean, not contaminated. Limit the supply water, being cloudy, disinfect the water source with a benzoate 800. For cages, if the fish cage has a large area, you must choose places with a depth of 3.5 to 4 meters. The cage is placed floating and permanently anchored in a favorable location on the river. With a continuous flow of water, the water level is relatively regulated and must be 0.3–0.5 meter higher than the submerged height of the cage. Method and density. Before carrying out operations, such as transporting to new ponds, new cages or thinning, it is necessary to force the fish by being starved about 1 day. Transfer fish during cool weather, early morning or late afternoon. Fish brought into raising have complete fins, no scratches, no loss of slime, and uniform fish size. Flexible activity state, fast swimming, swimming submerged in water in groups. No signs of illness. Crispy carp can be raised 1 to 2 crops per year, lasting 3 to 5 months per crop. The fish selected for farming are large size from 1.2 to 1.8 kilogram. Density in pond is 0.5 to 1 fish per square meters. Density in cage is 5 to 7 fish per cubic meters, depending on care conditions. Carp are raised for about 9 months when they reach over 1 kilogram, at which point the farmer fattens them with broad beans to determine the crispness of the fish's meat. Methods for feeding fish broad bean seeds. How to prepare food. Before feeding the fish, the farmer must macerate broad bean seeds in water for 12 to 24 hours, depending on air temperature. Large seeds must be cut in half. Then clean thoroughly and mix with 1 to 2% salt. Leave for 10 to 15 minutes before starting to feed. This is a common way of preparing food in carp farming techniques. How to feed. You should train the carp to eat broad beans by starving and not feeding the fish anything for 5 days, then start feeding this type of beans. During the next 5 days, feed the fish broad beans with a diet of 0.03% of body weight at 4 o'clock p.m., because this is the appropriate time for the fish to absorb food. then gradually increase the diet to 1.5 to 3.0% of the weight of fish in the pond. Fish food must be closely inspected daily through checking feeding. Broad beans are the decisive factor that creates the crispiness and deliciousness of carp. Farming techniques. During the first period, do not feed the fish anything other than broad beans, and after feeding the fish beans for about 3 hours. Check to see if the fish has eaten it all or whether it has eaten more or less to promptly adjust the amount of food. Broad bean seeds will tend to sink quickly, so when feeding the fish, just spread it a little at a time to avoid wasting food, and feed the fish depending on their daily feeding needs. The correct way to raise carp is to feed the fish twice a day at 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Food is put into a trough, placed at the bottom of the pond or cage. The trough is made of an iron frame with a diameter of 6 centimeters. The trough area is 4 to 5 square meters, trough height 25 to 30 centimeters. The trough is surrounded by 2 layers, 1 layer of steel mesh, 1 layer of wire mesh to prevent beans from floating out. During the process of using the trough, it is necessary to periodically clean the trough at least twice a month to ensure better disease prevention for farmed fish. For disease prevention, periodically, once a month, add some antibiotics, oxaline to 100 seconds, Aracin 500s, to proactively prevent diseases for fish fed continuously for 3 days. Or use cured garlic with an amount of 3 to 5 grams per kg of feed. You can also use vitamin C, like a Vita C Max product. Check the fish in ponds and cages, and if the fish meat reaches a certain crispness, proceed to harvest. Before harvesting, let the fish stare for 1 day. The turning to crispy carp farming not only achieves higher economic value, but the output of crispy carp is also stable while ensuring the quality of commercial products. The above information also concludes today's broadcast. Please always accompany and follow the channel to gain more useful knowledge. Goodbye.